Hi, Ben Johnson here to record this week's High Tech Friday. This week we take a look at a website that's new to me. It's called Dotstorming.com. It's kind of a play on brainstorming, but students are able to vote by clicking on dots, and that's where the name comes from. It's a great consensus building website, a great brainstorming website. It's actually got lots of purposes. It's a lot like Padlet or Today's Meet, but the difference here is that students can vote, and those things can be ranked, and students can comment on people's additions. So it's a neat site. As a teacher, you're going to just need to join and then log in. Students don't need to join. They can just go to the URL that you provide. So once you've joined and logged in, you'll get a screen like this, and this is where you would add your topics. And since I'm a media specialist, maybe I'm going to try and get some consensus built on our media center, maybe the floor plan or some improvements. In fact, let me redo that. I hit enter just a little bit prematurely, so I'll just type in media center layout. I could put a description in here. Now I can allow students to vote from either 1 to 10 times. I'll just leave it at the 3 default and then share a link. I'm going to leave that as the default and I'll hit create. Now I've got my blank brainstorming. Now I can get this to my students either through the Google Classroom or some other means. I could do it through email, but what I'm going to recommend you do is just create a bit.ly for that site so that you can just write that up on your whiteboard. Now you can just paste that address, and then you can choose a address for it. So I'm just going to call it .storm6. So up on the whiteboard I would just write bit.ly/.storm6, and my students would join and they would be able to add their ideas. Now another trick I want to show you is to see what students would see. Well, I'll first start by adding an image. So I'm going to go here and just do a Google image search, and I'll just find some images that I like. So let's see here, maybe this is something I like. So I'll just go ahead and click on that and go to the view page, and now I can just copy the URL here, come back, add an image, and then paste that URL there, and I can title the image if I'd like to. So maybe this is a media center from I don't know, Loveland or something, and then I can go ahead and add that. So now what does this look like for your students? So the trick I wanted to show people, because I'm logged into the site as myself at this point, I can't really play around with the site like a student might. So there's a neat thing with Chrome. These 3 bars here, I can open an incognito window. And it's just another Chrome window with this burglar in the left-hand corner, but it doesn't have any of the cookies or cache. And so now I can pretend to be a student, and I use this technique a lot if I want to test things out as a student. I think I call that .storm6, I believe. So I would be going to the site as a student, and you'll notice that I'm not logged in here, and that's because I did that incognito browser, and now I can type in Tony or whatever and hit join, and then students can do the same sort of thing, media center, and they can do an image search. Now students can get images from the web like I've done here, or they can do their own image in say Google Drawing or some other graphic editor. So they can get images lots of different ways. They could even take pictures with their webcam, drawings they do with any software. In this particular case, I'm just going to go ahead and use some images from the web just for the sake of time, and this isn't actually an actual image, so I'm going to see if I can find some other things here. So this could very well be like a drawing that students have made in Google Drawing. Copy the image URL, so then students would come back here and paste that. They could add a title. They could also browse for those images also. Okay, so now what makes this work, and so you could imagine if 30 students had posted all their ideas here, they can do images or ideas. Now if an inappropriate image did come up, the teacher can just go ahead and close out with the X and delete that quickly if you have a class that you're worried about. But what each person can do now, so as a student I just voted on these two, and this is not going to be a great example because I've only got 2 people in this Dotstorm session, but you can imagine students would be able to, of the 30 plans that were uploaded, students would be able to click on their 3 favorite. And then as the teacher, you can then rank by vote, and it'll put them in order by the number of votes they had, and students can do that also. The teacher can lock the board as well, so that once it's finalized, people can't make additions. So great tool. The other thing I like about it is that then students can then comment. So the reason I like this media center is because ... Okay, and then they can post that. So then students can come in and then comment, and you can see the numbers of comments here. And maybe this student is going to come and say, I don't like this media center because ... And as a teacher, you can set up all the ground rules around that, but you'll be able to see now there are 2 comments. There is this chat here that I suppose you could use. I'm sure that students will like that, but again, just set those ground rules with that. So in a nutshell, that's how you use Dotstorming. A lot of potential for brainstorming, consensus building, but I could see it used for all sorts of things. Math teachers could post a problem, students could do the problem on paper, do a quick screen capture of their solution with their webcam, post that here, and then other students could vote to see who's got the best solution, and then they could comment on other people's solutions. So the sky's the limit, really. Your imagination is the only limit. Thanks for watching this week's High Tech Friday.